Okay, hello, mic check. How is everyone doing today? Okay, mic sounds like it's working. Well, that's good. My camera is not currently working, but I will get that fixed in just a minute. If everything goes right. Which obviously it normally does, right? Anyways, I hope you all are having a great weekend so far. All right, let's get the camera up and running, shall we? I feel like streaming without a camera, probably not the best idea. All right, so my face cam is working. Yeah, there we go. Hi, chat. You're kind of out of place at the moment, but welcome. I'm trying my new plein air easel, and this isn't a permanent setup. This is just let's test it out type of thing. So, I'm not going to be keeping this setup, so we'll see. It might be a little awkward today, but I wanted to try this out. And I thought, why not do it on stream? I realize now why not do it on stream, but whatever. The reason not to do it on stream is the, setup and everything, but we are where we are right now, so, oh, well. Okay, there we go. Because dangling cords everywhere isn't awkward at all. The angle might be, well, not might. The angle is going to be different today, but it is what it is sometimes. I think I'm going to have to do it sideways. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be this way. Sorry, I just need to get it into manual focus, otherwise it will be a huge problem. All right, there we go. And I have to cover up this painting back here in the background so it doesn't accidentally get seen. Okay. Now that cord's all tangled. Let's see if I can untangle it just by twisting a little. I don't know. All right, so far so good. So far so good. And then the last thing is trying to figure out how to put the light on without it, making everything fall. You might be saying, why would I need the light if I have a light, above my painting like I normally do, but I'm trying this out, so I'm not going to use that. Alrighty. I did not mean to do that. Sorry about that. Face cam. No, not doing that one. Hold on a second. I need to pull up my reference. I was not that prepared. Alrighty. Um, all right, here we go. Today's going to be kind of a simple one, but it's a test run. All right. There we go. All right, reference is almost finished. There we go. Oh, that's a good look. All right, there we go, face cam, and now rotate, transform. I'm not going to be doing the most efficient use of my, what's it called? Um, of my screen today, but you know, it is what it is. I suppose I can make my face a little larger today. Sorry, everyone. Hey, Des, welcome. How you doing? Happy Star Wars Day. Yes, may the fourth be may the force be with you. I will not be doing a Star Wars themed painting today because I am not that organized. That's the answer, really. Thank you for making my face larger. It is appreciated. You are probably the only one who thinks that, but thank you anyways. Alrighty. So I screwed up one of my panels today. This is a new panel, but I screwed up one of my panels, so I have to fix it before Tuesday. And I messed up something else that I also need to fix before Tuesday. So I just got two more things added to my what's it called? To my to-do list. You should have streamed, but didn't think about it. Wait. Oh yeah, I should have. Des says, yeah, I should have streamed, but didn't think about it. Yeah, I should have done something Star Wars themed, but I did not think about it either. I was just like, I don't know, just didn't think about it. Oh shoot, I already messed up my order. Usually white goes there. Oh well, white will go here for now. Yeah, I totally messed up my order. Michelle says, is there any sort of cover or film protecting the wood from the absorbing the paint? No, there's plastic. This is plastic. There's a very thin plastic thing on top of it. Someone I know gave me these plastic. They have these plastic sheets, like they're like the size of paper, and they didn't need them, so they were giving them away. So I grabbed a couple, and I just taped them into place with double-sided tape. It's not glass. Glass is ideal, but I don't want to put glass in a palette that I'm taking with me. Although you can also do it straight on wood in theory, because there are wood palettes. You just have to prep it first. You kind of have to, you know, you kind of have to like, it's kind of like seasoning it. You know, you have to like oil it out a bunch of times with regular oil and kind of seal it type of thing. Because I do have one of those palettes that you hold. It's a really bad one that that what's it called? That warped, but you know, the good ones won't warp. So yeah, in theory you can. Let me get my brush because I forgot to grab that. But ideally what I would do is I would buy like a very thin acrylic plastic. Um, and I would put that there, but I didn't know what size this was going to end up being because I made this out of my leftover wood pieces. So I just, you know, I made it whatever size it could be, but ideally it would be a uniform size because it's also not 100% straight. Like this side is smaller than this side a little bit, but like I said, that was because I was basically making it out of like leftover pieces. All right, let's see how this goes. It's a little awkward. I think ideally I would want to put the light on the other side. Um, let's try and reposition it real quick and see how, you know, what I can do with it. Put this up here. Ah, it's flopping around a lot. This is not ideal, but okay, it is what it is. I know it's really dark, and like part of it's like really hot and part isn't. Um, yeah, this is a test to see if like if under not the ideal conditions, I can still paint like this. So it's on purpose, but I realize that it might not look the best, but let's see what can be done and how it ends up, you know, looking. I'm just making my mid lines right now. I didn't draw them in. Also, this is actually a gessoed panel, and I usually hate gessoed panels, but usually not all panels, but I sanded the heck out of it, so we'll see if it ends up feeling a lot better because of how much I sanded it or not. Might make me a, you know, a gesso believer. But yeah, ideally I would just I would buy a piece of thin acrylic and cut it to the shape, to the size, but I didn't have time. Also, Home Depot's prices on acrylic specifically are ridiculously overpriced. Actually, a lot of things at Home Depot overpriced and under deliver. I'm not too happy with quite a bit, but you know, whatever. By the way, Des, how are you doing? And also, just to let you know, I will be sending your printout tomorrow. I I've been overwhelmed with everything. I apologize for not getting it out to you sooner. Just overwhelmed. Okay, this panel isn't as dry as I normally associate. What's it called? Um, Gesso, but it's also not as nice as I would like it to be. But you know, for a first one, not too bad. By the way, if you heard a cell phone just now, that was my cell phone notification, not yours, in case anyone's watching. It's like, what was that? Apparently, I forgot to mute my cell phone, and I don't think I can get to it now. Des says, yeah, no problem. Thank you, Des. I appreciate the understanding. Yeah, it is a bit dry, but it's not like it's not even as dry as the canvas panels I used recently. So it's dry, but not as bad. Do wish it was smoother. I guess maybe another pass. Yeah, another layer of gesso and even more sanding. Don't like doing so much sanding though, so and prepping. So maybe I'll just put a acrylic matte medium over it in the future. Just do that. I'm doing okay, just hanging. It does says I'm doing okay, just hanging out. Relaxing after going to the dome yesterday. Yeah. So this plastic is working pretty well. I had to cut and like put two pieces together, which I was worried about, but that doesn't seem to be too big of a problem. So that's working really well. And the panels being, is holding in place really well. So that's great. So all these things are, you know, really good. I'm really glad. I wasn't sure. And the palette's also stable too. So all those aspects of things are working really, really well. Really happy with that. I know it's pretty dark and like hot right now with the thing, but I also wanted to see if I could, like I said, I wanted to see if I could work with this light like this because sometimes, you're painting in like dark locations and so on, and you just you need a light, but you know, you can't set up like big lights and everything. Des says, I mostly finished one of our portraits and started another. I need to work on it tonight or tomorrow for sure. Oh, nice, Des. Des is working on she's doing a really cool project again this year. She did it last year and she's doing it again this year. It's a really cool project where she's working with a charity and what's it called? To help people. If I remember correctly, it's a recovery location for people with drug addiction issues, and it's also for the people who work there too. So it's a really cool project where they're using art to kind of, raise money and help with everything. I think it's great. Let's see, someone, Mort, I think. It's hard for me to see, my screen's a little far away today. Good day, mate. You're a wonderful artist. I had an account name change. Used to be Sam G. Fraser. Oh, hey, Sam. Welcome. How you doing? And I appreciate the compliments. It's very kind of you. So I will talk more. Actually, I'm not going to talk about it on my live today, but I have a video coming out that I talk about this setup a bit more. Yeah. Um, so that hopefully will come out before Tuesday if everything goes as planned, you know. But yeah, I'm just testing this out right now for those who just showed up. But yeah, I am going to be in June. I'm going to be what's it called? Vending at an art fair, and my plan is to have this out and paint during the art fair uh, when I'm not talking to people. So hopefully that will bring people in, you know. Uh, Mort says, I'm well. It's very early. Glad to see you still painting beautiful portraits. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going at it. I will be, just to notify everybody, I will probably, well, not probably, I will be taking a break for, um, I guess a week. So no streams this coming week and weekend. Um, maybe no schedule streams. We'll put it that way. Like I might do something spontaneous, but yeah, no streams this week and this coming week, and um, I don't know if there'll be any the following week either, because I'm going out of town to the Portrait Society of America. But like I said, I might do some spontaneous streams while I'm there if I can. I think that'd be fun, but we'll see. I don't have a set, what's it called? I don't really have like a mobile setup or anything. So, um, so yeah, basically 2 weeks off. So if you all don't see me too much online, you know why. But yeah, I'm continuing. Hey, first time chatter, uh, diatomic kitten. I love your style. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Welcome. How are you doing today? I always ask new chatters if they're artists because it's like I think 95% of the people are. So I always ask. But yeah, you an artist? And welcome to the chat. You are welcome here, even if you are not an artist, of course. I just ask in general. Usually my setup's a little more illuminated. Today I'm testing out this plein air palette because I'm planning on using it in the near future, and I want to be able to. I was trying to see if I will be able to use it in the dark, and you know, also if I'll just be able to use it, like how well it stands up to actual usage. So yeah, so it's a little setup's a little different today, but yeah. Ooh, the reflection of those glasses. Where am I traveling? I am going, so I'm going to Portrait Society of America in Washington, D.C., and then in June, so I'm going, that's next week. I'm going to that. And people do like breakout sessions where they go hang out and paint. So I want to be able to participate. And then the other thing is in June, I'm going to have a booth at an art fair, and I want to be able to paint on location because I feel like it would be a great way to bring people to my booth. And I do have some practice talking while I paint, so I don't mind doing that. And I have practice painting in front of people, so I don't mind doing that. So I thought it would be a nice thing to do. But obviously, I'm going to need to have, a palette, a easel and palette of some kind. So, like I said, just testing this out today to see, if it works. And I mean, I am really happy with it so far, so I do think it works just fine. Um, yeah, like everything's pretty stable. The only thing is, I will say the light is causing a lot of reflections on my paint in my palette, so I probably have to play with the positioning a little, but that is very, very minor issues. That sounds awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Portrait Society of America is a lot of fun if you've if you're into portraits, and honestly, you don't have to be in America. They have an international um, competition and conference, so you don't have to be in America to participate you know um, or spectate it either. But yeah, um, it's a cool organization, and the conference is a lot of fun. A lot of amazing artists go there. Um, yeah, it's a nice time. Mort asks, is the easel nice and sturdy? I've been doing some outdoor drawing and painting. Uh, is what I want to was what I want to try next. Oh, doing some outdoor painting and drawing is what you want to do next. Yeah, it is. It is really sturdy. I mean, okay, it does shake a little, but I mean, not like I'm pressing on it and it's not really moving. I mean, it's, like trembling a little bit. That's it. It's pretty sturdy. Obviously, it's only going to be as sturdy as the tripod, but most tripods are pretty sturdy. So yeah, it's pretty good. Um, be back. Des says I got to do a food run. Be back in a bit. Nice. Yeah, no problem, Des. Um, obviously, no problem. But yeah, it is nice and sturdy. And like I said, I will have a video. I'm actually working on it. I almost didn't stream so that I could work on it, but I decided to try and do everything. So, so there should be a video coming out tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest, that touches on all of this a bit more. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to, ruin it kind of thing. But yeah, I did make these recently, and I will have more on that in the future as well. But yeah, it's pretty sturdy. I'm really happy with it. There are a ton of things that you can buy. If you don't want to make something and you just want to buy it, there are a ton of options out there. Some are ridiculously expensive, but not all of them are ridiculously expensive. I bought a pochade box. I can show you in a minute when I take a short break. Um, I bought a pochade box for like 50 bucks off of eBay, and I actually priced out the materials for it before I bought it because I wanted to see like, could I just make this myself? And I bought it at the time, this is years ago. This is like 5+ years ago, I think. But I bought it for like $50 and I priced out the materials. And there was no way that I could have, like, just the materials alone would have been at least 50 bucks. If if you wanted to make, more than one, oops, that was a mistake. Oh well. If you wanted to make more than one, then the price goes down because you could buy, a few of like the a few of things and the prices kind of go down for bulk. Not bulk, like huge bulk, but still like certain things just are cheaper or you can't buy them in singles. You can only get them in like, multiples and so on. Um, okay, I can't right yeah, I built it. So I can't recommend where I bought it from. But I can recommend some easels and stuff if you want. It depends on your budget, right? Because some of them are expensive. Some of the plein air stuff is pricey. So like what's it called? Um, I'm trying to remember the name of them. Like what is it? The Next Go or something like that is like I think it's like um, $300. And that's an example of like an extremely expensive one. But you can also get them for like, like I said, between 50 to $100 and so on. So it kind of depends on your price point. So, and I totally understand not wanting to spend a lot in the beginning, especially if you're just getting into it. Like, even if you have the money, right? Even if it's not like, oh, I can't afford that, but it's more like, I don't know if I want to spend that. I get that. Trust me. So, I think it kind of just depends on your budget. Also, what medium are you using? That's a really important question because different mediums require different things. Um, you know, so that's a really important question. What medium are you looking to do? Um, you know, some things are a little more universal, but some things are not. So it kind of depends. So yeah, if you tell me what medium you were planning on, I can maybe give you a little more direction or recommendations. If you don't know, that's also understandable. Yeah. Also, how handy are you? Do you like building stuff? Do you want to build your own, or do you just want to purchase something real quick and go? I think that also will change, recommendations on some things. Um, So for anyone who isn't familiar with, some oil painting processes, or mine in particular, but it's not just mine though. A lot of times it's like it starts off real messy and then you kind of refine it as you go. I know a lot of people are aware of this, but sometimes, people are not. So I thought I'd just mention that in case people are like, this looks like a mess. It's like, yeah, it does. And that's really common. Uh, Mort says, probably oils. I have a tripod and pretty handy with stuff. Garage full of tools. Oh, if you have a garage full of tools, yeah, all good. You can make this easy. I have an old camera tripod as well. I didn't think of making one. If you have, okay, so here's the question is how, like, how soon do you want it? I guess is the next question I have for you. Because if you're like, I want it in the next, couple weeks, then I'll recommend go check out a few people online who already have tutorials. If you're like, I don't know, I'm busy right now, maybe in a month or two, then I'd say wait for me. But honestly, if you have a garage full of tools and you already have a tripod, you can easily make this stuff. And there are tutorials online already. I'm not, you know, they exist already. Um, one guy I would recommend is trying to remember his name now. I'm not forgetting on purpose. I'm just bad with names. Um, oh, what is his name? Not Mark Carter. It's not Mark Carter. He does the Dromix paint guy, but not him. Um, oh, my God, I cannot remember his name right now. He's an artist who does he does plein air painting in oils, and he has a tutorial video on how he makes this thing, the palette box. He's much more like, he used to be a carpenter, so he's way more capable than me in that regards. So yeah, he has a tutorial. I'm trying to remember his name right now, but I'm totally blanking on it. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. This is going to drive me nuts. Um, Chamberlain, thank you. Chamberlain paintings. Yes, 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 yes. That's it. Chamberlain paintings. He has a tutorial on how he makes his, and I mean, he's definitely better at, woodworking and building than I am. So, you know, he's totally someone you can go with and check out how he does it. Um, and then for the panel part, I repurposed the back part is I repurposed a part from a French easel I had, but it's basically a piece of wood with a hole through the middle, and then you know you put these bolts through another piece of wood on each side, and then in the back you have to make another piece of wood that you attach a tripod mount to, which is real easy to do. It's just there's like this 1/4 inch anchor things that you can just you have to screw it. You have to buy something that makes what's it called? That makes it the right size, but then you just hammer it in and it's done. So it's pretty easy. You just have to know what you're doing a little bit. But yeah, the panel holder part is probably the easiest of everything. So yeah, Chamberlain, his stuff's good. I also like his videos in general. I haven't been watching lately, but I used to watch, a lot more. Um, yeah. Okay, this seems far more fun and feasible than spending 300 on a made one. Thank you. Well, I will say you can buy one of these pallet carriers on Amazon for like 150. They're much nicer than what I built for 150, but you know, it's still 150 bucks. But yeah, you can totally just make one. Like I said, I am planning on doing a video on how on that. But the video that's coming out, I'm just talking about it. It's not actually the tutorial video. The tutorial video will be when I come back from Portrait Society. And Chamberlain, like I said, he is way, what's it called? Way better than I am with woodworking stuff. But I have my own plans. I don't want to get into too much details, but I have my own plans on why I think, like, I'm not just going to do a video on how to make it just to do a video. I actually have a reason behind it. Like, you know, there is a purpose. Uh, why, like, I think his video um, is great, but I also think that there are some gaps that I can fill with my personal, experience and everything. But that will be in a while. It's not coming out, in like it'll be at least I'd say at least a month probably. So, but yeah, after getting into it a bit, it I don't know, I when I was a long time ago when I was in middle school, for like I don't even remember how long I was in middle school. My mom moved a lot, and I I went to a what's it called? I went to a preschool, and then I went to middle school. Not preschool, sorry. I went to what's before high school? Elementary? Elementary, that's it. Yeah, I went to elementary school. Then I went to a middle school, which is like in between elementary and junior high, which was really strange. And then I went back into an elementary school just because we moved, not because my like age or what's it called? Obviously my age didn't change, but also like that my class didn't change. I just one area had a middle school, one area didn't, so it was weird. But I remember I was I took like a woodworking class for in middle school for like I wouldn't even say a year. I really enjoyed it, but I've never had the stuff I needed to do it on my own kind of thing. But yeah, I do remember that was like my one of my favorite classes. I think like anything, it can be an artistic and creative thing. So, us artists kind of tend to lean towards a lot of those things, regardless of the medium. One thing I will say, if you do end up making your own or buying one, honestly, one thing I will say is be careful of magnets. So there are some plein air easels and stuff that use magnets built into it, and some people like me just like magnets. I like magnets. I think magnets are cool. Um, however, um, the issue with magnets is that they, well, obviously they're magnets. If you use palette knives um, or a metal, what's it called? Uh, what is it? Maul stick, for to support your hand or anything like that. Um, yeah, it can really mess you up, and you don't realize it until you put your palette knife to the painting, and then it just kind of snaps to the painting, and you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to use my palette knife anymore. Yeah. Mortise, I typically get old furniture off the side of the road and pull it apart for wood stock. That's a great idea. I wish I had like, a full like, what's it called? You know, like all the all the tools and stuff that you need for all this woodworking stuff and so on. I wish I had all of that. I don't. I also don't have the true experience of like how to do all that stuff, so, it probably would be a waste on me. Let's see. Morta's my tools are mostly based around car mechanics, but vise and hand saws are plenty. I have a circular saw, but I'm too shy to use it yet. A friend of mine just gave me um, it's like a circular saw, but uh, it's a plunger uh, saw. It's basically a circular saw, but it like plunges a bit. And it's meant to be on a track, but I don't have the track. He doesn't have the track, so I don't have the track. But there are ways of building a track. And I just started using it. Like literally, this is just like in the last week that they gave it to me, which is ridiculously sweet of them. Um, and if they ever need it back, they're welcome to ask for it back. But but yeah, first time I used it, I almost hurt myself because I used it and the piece of wood that I tried to cut went flying, so that wasn't good. But I since then looked up some stuff and was able to actually use it yesterday to cut actually this panel that I'm painting on right now. So that was very useful and helpful. Just make sure if you do try and use it, obviously try and be safe. You do all your safety, all your safety stuff. Lock everything down. Don't have it, clamp everything down. And also, my friend was very smart and recommended to like lower the speed if it has like a speed or whatever on it type of thing. Lower it to the lowest to begin with. and you can build up at, if you need more power, you need more power, but start off at the lowest setting first. And, YouTube tutorials. It would be helpful to use. My handsaw cuts are not straight in the slightest, but I was definitely waiting to look up safety tips before powering it up. Yeah, definitely look up some safety tips and stuff. The thing that I found some YouTube videos. If you um, message me somewhere online, either Discord or hold on a second. Let me pause this for a second. Yeah, message me on Discord or anywhere. I'll try and send you a video. There's a few people, a few YouTubers who they talk about safety, but more than that, they show you how to like make like sleds and stuff for a table saw to make it safer and easier, and you can cut straight with it. I don't have any of this stuff, but I did find the videos online, and I found they're like aspirational because they're the things I want to try because they look like they would work, and so I want, so I'm happy to share them with you. Just send me a message somewhere, and I'll message those back to you. You think we follow each other on Instagram? Yeah. I'm so bad with names I can't remember, but it's nothing personal. My brain cannot it's just so bad with names. But yeah, you're welcome to message me there, or like I said, if you're on Discord, you can message me on Discord. You can even message me publicly on Discord, like if you just want to put it in my Discord, whatever, you can do that too, and I can just post there for everybody. I don't mind sharing it. Um, yeah.
Fetch.
But yeah, I mean, it's so, that's one of the things I love about YouTube is just all the videos and all the helpful stuff. It's not perfect, but you know, it's still there's just so much good stuff on there still. Thank you. I'll include my username as I also forget names. Yeah, no worries. Also, this is kind of this, you might know this, and like a lot of people might know this, but I did not know this, and this was like really what's the word I'm looking for? Enlightening, I guess. So um I haven't used this, but I just found out about this like the other day. So if you're ever doing, like, I think, I do think artists, like building your own stuff and making stuff, it's part of it. Like, a lot of artists make their own panels, a lot of artists make their own, you know, uh, make their own frames. A lot of artists make their own, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Canvases, all that stuff. There's always, there's a lot of like DIY stuff in general. Um, and clamps are always such a useful thing, I find. Just in general, clamps are useful. I have, I have these little like spring clamps that I use, um, for like that's how I keep my paint palette up when I'm painting on my normal easel. Um, but these aren't always big enough or the right thing. Um, sorry, that cord's there. Anyways, and the big, those big like hand clamps that they sell at the hardware store are pricey. Some of them can be real pricey. I just found out that there are these clamps that use metal pipes. So the clamp part is sold separate from the pipe part. So you can buy the clamps and then you buy the right size metal pipe that goes through them so you can make it any size you want based off of your needs and you can buy, I'm sure metal pipes are not cheap, but like still, I just love the idea that it can be any size you need it to be. It's like, that's crazy. I don't know if they're more cost effective. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I thought that was really interesting. Oh, shoot. I just remembered. I need to put this out. My camera might overheat. We'll see. I forgot to move the screen off of it, off of the back. So we'll see. All right. But yeah, that is one of those frustrating things in general is when you're learning something new, there's all this information that you just, what is it? The Dunning-Kruger effect. It's all the things that you don't know that you don't know. It's so frustrating to go through that process. I mean, it can be fun too, of course, but it can be expensive and frustrating to go through that process where you're discovering things that like you don't even know that you don't know. And that's with everything. Like I didn't even know like 4 years ago, I think, I didn't even know the Portrait Society of America existed, right? So, it's so easy to not know things, which, obviously, but it's so hard to know all the things that you don't know about. So I try to be very open or like I try not to assume that people will know what I'm talking about on everything, but sometimes that leads to me telling people a bunch of shit they already know. But, sometimes it just can't be helped. Like what do you do? Either you assume they already know, which they might, but they might not. That was my phone again, by the way, in case anyone was like, oh, did my phone ring? That was probably me. Might have to get my smaller brush out soon. I try to do as much as I can with the larger brush. A good, say, what's it called? It's a good habit to develop, um, especially if you're like me who used to rush to the small brushes. Uh, the Atomic Kitten says, I'd rather err on the side of caution and tell me also simply good review if you do know it. Yeah, I think so too. But you know, it sometimes yeah, I feel bad sometimes just because it can be annoying to hear stuff you already know. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I know this already. Get to the point. But yes, I do agree that I rather err on the side of like, you never know. Also, especially in this kind of environment, it's really hard for me to know who's listening, who I'm talking to, what their particular skill level or their knowledge level or whatever, not even level. Like you can have you can just have weird holes in your knowledge too. Like even if you're like really skilled, really knowledgeable, it's so easy to have these random little like gaps that you're unaware of. Uh, just as an example, like I'm an oil painter. I've painted with a bunch of different paints and stuff, but I definitely haven't tried every single paint brand out there, and not even every single pigment out there. Some of the most common pigments I don't think I've ever used, like Prussian blue, is one of those colors that I've never touched, so I don't know what it's like to use that. So if someone tells me, "Oh, you know how Prussian blue is?" I'm like, "No, I don't. Sorry, I don't know what it's like to use that." Um, Mort says it's also public forum in a sense, so the information is already you already know might be for someone else listening. Yeah, exactly. And then also, I'm also streaming on YouTube at the moment. By the way, I also do videos on YouTube if you're for anyone who doesn't know. But yeah, I'm also streaming this on YouTube, and the VOD, lives on. And to my absolute surprise, some people really watch the VODs. So you never know when someone will be watching this after the fact, you know? So I treat it as like this just lives on the internet, so I have to treat it like that. Okay, the nose needs some work. Let's just blob it out real quick and then carve back into it. For anyone who thinks oil painting is hard, oil painting, um, I mean, painting in general is hard, but oil paint specifically, the paint, once you get past the initial like learning curve hump of like all the stuff that you're unaware of that you have to learn, once you get past that, as far as the medium goes, it is one of the easiest and most forgiving of all the mediums out there. So don't be afraid to give it a try. It really is um, you like very, very forgiving once you get past that initial like learning curve. I used to be afraid of oil paints when I first started. for numerous reasons. I also was afraid of the toxicity issue, which isn't really a big deal either, but I didn't know that. I actually would be more afraid of, I think, pastels for toxicity issues than I would be oil paints. The thing I think that people do need to be aware of, though, that is a safety issue that is often overlooked is the spontaneous combustion issue, because oil-soaked rags, any 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 drying oil, if you are doing woodworking, for instance, a lot of people, they like if you uh, do, yeah, woodworking, furniture, anything like that, uh, oil-soaked rags can spontaneously combust if you don't, uh, you know, if you don't dispose of them properly. But it is not a huge issue or a very common one. It's just one to be aware of. Once you're aware of it, it's pretty easy to deal with. Diamond Kitty said, Diatomic, sorry, Kitty says, yeah, I see a lot of pastel artists wearing gloves. Yeah, well, yeah, and also um, the dust, that's the thing that would worry me about like pastels, the dust. Like, I don't sand my paintings because of safety concerns, right? You don't want to breathe in this stuff. A lot of pigments, and this is unrelated specifically to oils, a lot of pigments are toxic, but that's a lot of pigments in general, not just oil paints, right? So pigments can be toxic, and if you're inhaling the dust, that's a bad thing. A lot of them aren't even that what's it called? They're toxic, but they're not that dangerous to you under normal circumstances, because they like you can't absorb them through your skin or anything like that unless you have like an open wound. Um, so a lot of them are perfectly safe to handle under normal circumstances, but not if they're dust, not if you breathe them in, or like I said, if you have an open wound or something. I'm wearing gloves because I like clean hands. I don't like to get my hands dirty. But more importantly, I have cats, and sometimes they come on stream. And if I want to pick them up and hold them and interact with them, I want to be able to have clean hands instantly. So that's why I wear gloves. But I do hate wearing the gloves. Technically, it's it is very frustrating, and it's not fun. But like I said, it's more for cleanliness and the cats and less my own personal safety. Because like I said, most of the stuff isn't really all that dangerous to handle. Also, I don't think most of my paints are even that toxic anymore. Um, Diatomic Kitty says wearing an N95 mask will stop you from breathing in the particles. My husband works uh, with silica, and silica particles are finer than pigment particles. And N95s are what work mandates he wears. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't wear it with my beard because, you know, it gets in the way. But yeah, you do have to be careful. Um, I, and that's not the only reason I don't use pastels, but it's definitely, you know, contributes. I used to use one of my pigments was cadmium yellow, and cadmium obviously is a heavy metal and toxic. Although, like I said, I don't think it's all that toxic to handle most of the time, depending on the company that you're getting it from. But I don't use cadmium anymore. I switched to bismuth yellow, and I like bismuth yellow, and bismuth is not toxic. Diatomic Kitten says that is true. He has to shave for his fit test every year. Yeah. Hey, Void Brush is rating with a party of 55. Hey, welcome, Raiders. How are you all doing today? Today's a bit of an odd day as far as my normal painting setup goes. So usually it's a little more organized, I'd say. But yeah. Voidbrush says, but cadmium lemon, so tasty. I mean, yeah, it is. Uh, so is lead white. But you know, you really shouldn't eat your paint. It's actually one of the mottos of the channel. Don't eat your paint. So yeah. So how are you doing? How was your stream? What were you up to today? You are welcome to share if you would like to post a link or something. I'd love to see what you're working on. I also understand if you don't want to deal with that because sometimes I get it. I know how it is. It's like I just finished it. I don't have it ready to show. You know, understandable. But yeah, how was your stream? What were you up to today? Uh, I am testing out this easel that I just made, and yeah, that's why my setup's a little different than it normally is today. Hacking Drez, Mr. Pigments, has been converting me to lead white. Yeah. He showed me how much titanium white tints pigments or tints paints. I'll be honest, well, yes, titanium white definitely does. When I used lead white, I was not overly impressed. Maybe it's the lead white that I bought. That could be. Maybe if I try a different brand, I will feel differently about it. Or maybe if I tried it again today, I would feel differently with, you know, more experience. I just think with titanium compared to lead white, you just have to have a more subtle hand with it, with the white. But I could be wrong, you know. And for everyone who it is, you know, some people love it, and I get that. Mr. Pigment says, "Hey, sorry for the correction here, but I make paint and pigments for a living, but modern cadmiums don't have that much toxicity in them." No, I appreciate that, and that's what I was saying earlier. They're only a problem when aerialized. The toxicity claims come from the 1980s. Yes. And I can't read that from here. Sorry, macadamium. Yeah, no. I agree. That's what I was saying. It's not usually a big deal, and that's why I don't. That's one of the reasons I don't sand my paintings, because I don't want to get the dust in the air and breathe it. But that's not the only reason I switched from cadmium lemon to bismuth yellow. just for the record. I felt like the cadmium yellows that I tried were a little more washed out compared to the bismuth yellow that had just a little more yellow to it, I guess. It was just a little, it just held on to the yellow a little more when mixing. Yeah. He talks about pigments whether he is streaming or not. I like to talk about pigments too. Um, I did a series of videos, like 3 videos, talking about my modified CMYK palette. You don't stream, you do YouTube? Hey, I stream and do YouTube. Welcome. I'd love to see your YouTube stuff. Uh, Diatomic says, I love CMY palettes. Nice, yeah. Um, Voidbrush says, Drez is very based and knows a lot about pigments. Nice. I don't know that you know, I try to learn a lot about pigments, but, to a degree, of course. What brand of lead white did you get? I bought, it was, Williamsburg, and I wasn't overly satisfied with it. It was also very stiff, which I was not really expecting. Um, yeah. Williamsburg paints generally are good. Like I don't, from what my understanding is they have a good reputation in general, and every paint I've bought from them in general has been great. Not that they're my go-to brand, but yeah, the lead white was not my favorite. Rublev is the best. Yeah, I've heard. Mr. Pigman says, oh, well, Williamsburg is generally very good, but their lead is mediocre. Yeah. Yeah, like I said. Yeah, I've heard Rublev is the best, but they also, if I remember correctly, they're also priced as such. Um, which is understandable, but oh, well, okay, also I won a Mr. Pigman says I have wait. I have every brand of lead paint. I make my own stacked lead too. Wow, that's okay then. That's way more effort than I will go through personally. But that's awesome. But yeah, Diatomic Kitten, like I said, I do have a series of videos that I talk about my modified CMYK palette. I only talk about the yellow, blue, and red, or, the CMY part about it. I don't talk about the black because it's just, it's not, it's not that it's not as important. It's just not, I didn't do any, the modifications I've made don't really impact it that much. Let's see. Voidbrush says it's crazy. You say name of a paint and he knows the pigment code off the top of his dome. When Tism is your superpower. Oh, that's funny. Diatomican says on Twitch or YouTube? On YouTube. on YouTube. I have videos about that. Yeah. I, I I'm the same way. I remember pigment codes, not all pigment codes, obviously. Mostly the ones that I use a lot. And since I use such a limited amount, I just know those pigment codes and a few others. I definitely don't know all of them. I also have bad memory for numbers and names, so that's working against me. What's your YouTube name? Leod Goldberg. There should be, if you're if you're not on mobile, I don't know how it looks on mobile, but if you're not on mobile, there should be a link in the description or in the below the video or something. But yeah, Leod Goldberg, I'm Leod. I'm either Leod G, or Leod Goldberg everywhere. And honestly, usually all you need to do is spell my first name to find me, because yeah, no one spells it like that. So okay, I shouldn't be using my small brush for this. Let's get the big brush out. But yeah, that's really cool. I do like talking about pigments and learning, about new colors and new pigments and stuff like that. Um, you know, and I'm always open to, expanding my or modifying my palette and my process over time. Mr. Pigment says, should never have, wait, Marcadmium is such a stupid pigment, should never existed. Marcadmium, okay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I mean, there's a lot of pigments that shouldn't. Thank you, followed you both. Oh, thank you so much. Um, Voidbrush says, in that case, you'll have a lot to talk about with Drez. Yeah, looking forward to it. Um, yeah, there's a lot of pigments that shouldn't have existed. I mean, honestly, Mummy Brown, that never should have been a paint. It's such a stupid idea on so many levels. I don't know why that even existed, but people are weird. History is weird. And there's obviously like the arsenic green or whatever that also shouldn't have existed. But I understand that sometimes it's like they didn't know better. But I mean, Mummy Brown, come on. I mean, talk about just like using a super limited resource, even if you don't want to talk about like the ethical side of it. It's just such a limited supply. Such a weird thing, but that was my phone, by the way. If you heard a phone and you're like, "Was that me?" No, that was me. My setup is not like this normally, and I literally cannot reach my phone right now because of where it is. So yeah, usually I mute it. I got distracted and forgot today. Thanks, Diatomic Kitten, by the way. I appreciate the follow. And I hope you find the videos where I talk about my modified CMYK palette interesting. Just to give you a little, like, what's it called? Uh, precursor, or before you watch it. Yeah, I changed instead of cyan, I use phthalo blue, and instead of magenta, I use um, quinacridone rose. Those are my modifications. So yeah, preview. Thank you. Um, flippable coin. Thank you very much. My brain was too, you know, just sometimes it's just too much to talk and paint and do everything at the same time. So yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Voidbrush says I'd grind my grandma into pigment if that would result in a good tube of mummy brown. Or maybe not. That seems to be, there seems to be other ways to get relative similar results. Yeah, it's really unnecessary, I would say. I will say this. I don't have an ethical problem if someone wants to be ground up into pigment after they pass away to be included in art in like, post-mortem kind of way. If that's what someone wants, I'm all for it. Like, cool. I don't care. But mummies in general are kind of limited in supply, and you really can, out of all the colors out there, brown is arguably the easiest and most abundant, out there. So it seems, I don't know, it just seems a little silly to me. Voidbrush says, damn, I just got plan post-mortem plan number 4. Yeah. See? I think it makes sense. I totally get why. Like, I totally get it. I think it's a cool idea, but, that's is very different. Also, I don't know what the process of creating Mummy Brown is like. I don't know how involved it is, but yeah. I mean, people put their ashes into all kinds of stuff to, so to me, it reads like that, you know what I mean? And that's fine. But yeah, Mr. Pigment, what is your YouTube? Is it Mr. Pigment? Mr. Pigments. Okay, cool. Mr. Pigment says, I took a nap and now I'm groggy. Yeah. Oh, wait, Mr. Pigment is someone else. Mr. Pigments with an S. Okay, cool. Um, was it? There was, this is kind of, I mean, it's related to pigments, but it's a little unrelated. But there's this paint I came across, and it's like this beautiful, beautiful, like a hot pink kind of rose or magenta color, and it was it Opera Rose. That's I think the name of it through Opera Rose through not M. Graham. It is Michael Harding. And the pigment code is 122, which is magenta. And I thought, magenta is a pretty stable, quinacridone magenta is a pretty stable pigment from what I know, with a good light fastness. But Opera Rose apparently uses dyes in it as well. That's how it's able to be such a ridiculously crazy vibrant color. But because of that, it is not light fast. I don't want to say at all, but it's not, it's not very light fast. And I was so bummed out when I saw that because I was like, this is such a pretty color. I would love to use it in paintings, but yeah. Let's see. Voidbrush says it would be fun to become paint. and be like curse of Ra upon thee. Let's see. Mr. Pigman says it's using BV15 and something else. And okay, Voidbrush says, anyways, food time. Totally get it. After streaming, it is tough. And have a lovely stream. Thank you so much, and thanks for the raid. I really appreciate it. And Mr. Pigman says they are I'm not going to pronounce that correctly. Rhodamine dyes. That's what it, okay. So yeah, it's dyes. Yeah, it's disappointing. It was really disappointing to see that. Yeah, I bought these paints and I haven't used them yet, and they're called interference paints. And I'm really looking forward to figuring out how to use them properly. Yeah, they're kind of a gimmick to a degree. Like it's definitely not something that I would use on every painting all the time, but oh my God, I really want to use them. Diatomic Kitten says, I love those. Yeah, I have them. I tried them out. I did some test samples, but I haven't actually used them in a painting. And you know, oh, wow, the light is, yeah, the easier this way. No, not at all. Okay. Yeah, this setup today is off, but yeah, they're very pretty. Really cool. The iridescent aspect of them is really neat. So I really want to figure out a way of using them. Mr. Pigman says very pretty colors, but they were made originally for the medical industry, and they started getting used in safety equipment, but they are rated for about a week in museum settings before darkening. Oh, the dyes. Yeah, yeah, it's really unfortunate. All right, let's see. Let me turn on this light. This is my normal light. Normally, you can kind of see my setup behind it. Normally, it's different. I was testing out this plein air setup this time. And then Mr. Pigman says to Diatomic Kitten, did you know if you mix all three together, you can create white? With the you're talking about the interference paints. Yes, they yeah, they are in fact they mix with additive color, not subtractive. So yeah, it's really cool. So the painting so far, turn this off real quick. Since okay, maybe I still need it, but less. Yeah. So the painting so far, it is, obviously I didn't get a ton done today. And I have to keep my streams short today, unfortunately, because I have a ton of stuff to get ready for my trip. But yes, the interference paints that I tested out, and they look really good on black. On white, they look very different. It's really interesting. I'm really excited and to figure out how to use them. in a way that isn't just like, ooh, sparkly, you know? Like, because there's glitter paint. You can use glitter paint. This is interference paint. It's different than glitter paint, and I want to figure out how to use it in a way, in that way. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, I also have to, like I said, I do have to cut my stream a little short today. And then I probably won't stream for about 2 weeks because I'm going to the Portrait Society of America and also visiting with some family. But I'm planning on, what's it called? I'm planning on vlogging this, recording video. So hopefully I'll be able to make a video about what it's like to go to Portrait Society. Um, and I have a ton more painting videos in the pipeline. So, and I'll be back to streaming, obviously. But it was very nice meeting all of the new people who showed up today. I really appreciate you all hanging out. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know what else. I am looking forward to Mr. Pigments. I love talking paint, so I'm looking forward to more discussions. And you seem to be very knowledgeable about it, so I'm like looking forward to picking your brain about some things regarding that at some point. And Diatomic Kitten as well. It was great meeting you. Anyone who is an artist, you are welcome to join. Okay, let me rephrase that. Anyone is welcome to join my Discord. You're also welcome to post your art in my Discord to share it. I'd love to see it. If you don't feel comfortable with Discord for some reason, you can also do Instagram. You can tag me or message me or, I mean, I'm on other social media, but yeah, anywhere you want. Kara, I'm not the most active on all of them in general, but I am responsive. We'll put it that way. But I'd love to see all of your work. I love it. I love meeting new artists, talking art, and so on. So yeah, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. And that's it for now. Have a good one, everyone. Let me just. Good night, Mr. Pigman says good night. Good night, everyone. All right, let's.